Hi, everybody. I'm Tim Doherty. I'm the mayor of Morristown. I'm here with my wife, Mary Doherty, and we're here to celebrate and support our really good friend Ron Ritzie, who's our #1 artist in the town of Morristown. His work is amazing. His life is amazing. All around, he's amazing. So we're here to be supportive of not only our resident of Morristown, but somebody who's really important to our community. So we're really grateful that we were invited down to Visions and Pathway, and what they do will tie into a lot of things that Ron's going to talk about tonight.
Hey, I'm here tonight at the gala for Ron, a good friend of my sister's. I do a lot of work for Ron on his website, and over the months I've gotten to know Ron quite closely, and I certainly appreciate his view on art. I've learned a lot from Ron and what he does. So when you go to Ron's website, you'll see a reflection of what Ron, the person Ron is, and how he reflects and draws and writes his artwork. Great guy to work with, great guy to know. So whenever you want a friend that's going to trust, look up Ron, look at the website, and take it from there.
My story is very unique and very different than the stories that you're about to hear from our clientele, I should say, at this Visions and Pathways. I grew up in a neighborhood where black excellence was the standard. Growing up an LBGQ kid at that time, 55 years ago, where programs like Visions and Pathways did not exist. So they thought gay was crazy. And my parents thought that also when I came out in 7th grade. So I was put into a institution, ready to go to an institution, and interceded by a neighborhood friend of mine, father, who interceded before I went into a diagnostic center. I know this story might sound strange to you right now, but it ends good. Don't cry for me yet. He told the judge that he would take me home, which was right across the street from my parents' house. I could throw a rock there. This is in 7th grade. I kept going back and forth across the street, looking for the love that was not there. My parents, foster parents, thought that it would be best for me to go to a residential school in Idaho, way across the country. Can you imagine that? But I was game to do that idea, to pick up on their idea. So I went. And I stayed there, and I would come home during the holidays for 2 weeks, and they would send for me. There, I aged out of foster care at 19, and I had to return back to my original biological family across the street from my parents' house. This is a very complicated story, so it was hard for me to even put it into any kind of context, but I am about to tell you the story. I aged out of foster care, and I returned, and I didn't have nowhere to go. So because you're 18, my Morristown High School did not have anything in place for an 18-year-old to graduate. So I petitioned to the Board of Education by myself, because I didn't have that kind of support. I heard one of the speakers here speak about how they need those kind of support to tell you how to go to school, how to navigate your way through this vortex of bureaucracy. Nothing was in place for me, so I had to go to the Board of Education and petition to finish up the rest of my credits at Morristown High School. They sent me to Chester, New Jersey, to complete my education, my high school education. There, I started to experience my art. Let me back up. When I went out to Idaho, it was so different from being in the suburbs where it's got concrete suburbs, concrete jungle, where crime was at its highest in them days. We're going back 50 years ago. I'm 67 years old. So do the math. No, nothing was in place like visions and pathways. If I had these kind of resources, it would have been amazing. But I navigated for myself, I advocated by myself, and I petitioned to the Board of Education that I can graduate with my class of 77. I'm going to tell you about resilience. These young kids that are here in this program, you can do it. I did it. This neighborhood had people in there that saw in me what I did not see in myself. And I heard that mentioned also this evening. Sure, it was painful. It was very hard for me to be misunderstood. I wind up finding my path with art, exhibiting in all the great places, great houses. I was given an opportunity to exhibit at the Harriet Tubman Museum, amongst many institutions I have exhibited my artwork. The mayor came down there and gave me a proclamation telling the county that at October 23rd is Aunt Ronald Ritzie Day in Morristown, New Jersey. But it triggered something. It brought me back to that 12-year-old kid in 7th grade who was given away in foster care. And I went back to a journey where I had to find out, how did I get here? Well, I got here from people like you, people who contributed in my success. Everyone saw who I was, not what I was, but who I was. A talented, fierce, bright young man. And I'm saying that we have this in this organization. We have this right here, and you have to invest. You must invest. Because my life would not have turned out the way it was if I didn't have people like you investing in institutions like the one I went to in Idaho. Mountain Home, Idaho it was. That name is in the news today, if you read the newspapers. It's under this administration where they're doing it's an Air Force base that's there. And I was in that town underneath a basin of beautiful mountains. We skied, we had all these opportunities. I still didn't feel comfortable with the education that I needed. So I petitioned again to go to public school and finish up some of the credits, and then I aged out in foster care. So my story is about advocating for myself and being aware of what the downfalls are when you get into the wrong crowds and you're being ostracized. The stigma in foster care was awful. But through help from my community and people that supported me, it made a difference in my life. I had to learn to forgive. Oh yeah, forgive. I come from a family of 7 kids, from a 2-parent household. My neighborhood had nothing but doctors and lawyers, social workers, superintendents of schools, and they were all African American. So excellence was the standard. I'm a people pleaser. I did not want to disappoint. You're looking at a success here. Yeah. I worked under 3 residencies with David Walker at the Morristown Neighborhood House, teaching art to kids. And in the Morristown school system, it's been an amazing life for me, only because people like you who donated, who supported kids that did not have the support. Everything, I don't want to echo all of the political stuff that was mentioned here tonight, because I would just be piggybacking off of just real talk. So I'm not going to keep you because y'all were very long-winded, and I'm ready to really enjoy myself tonight. But I thank you. I thank you for coming here, and please dig deep, because if I'm a success, these kids can be a success also. I had a whole speech written out tonight, but you see, I'm ad-libbing it because my story is real, and I went where love was real, and I stayed where it existed. So thank you all again for being here tonight and supporting Visions and Pathways. Y'all are some amazing people. And the students that's here tonight, that's part of Visions and Pathways, please listen to these counselors, because they are here to help and navigate you through this vortex that is sometimes very confusing. Thank you for listening to this small part of my life. Now, I have two documentaries that are about to come out. And this is a cheap plug. And it's called An Unstill Life. I'm also a playwright. I work in the theater, and I've line produced. So there's many layers to my life, and I can't share that all with you tonight.
Visit my website.
What did you say? Okay. But wait for my documentary, and it's coming out this spring. And it will tell you some more in-depth stories about my travels, my connections in the art world. There's a QR code on the back of my card where you can go and see some of my artwork. It's available, and a percentage of it will be going towards Visions and Pathways. Support that. Thank you very much.
So Ron, thank you for speaking this evening for us, and we would like to present you with a piece of art that our youth did for you. So we are hoping, in the theme of art and how wonderful you are, it says love, and so we want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
I've known Ron Ritzie since I was growing up in Morristown, New Jersey, and I've seen him and his work develop over time. I own several pieces of artwork from Ron, but for the most part, I'm very happy that he's starting to get his recognition and that everyone is getting to see the fruits of his labor and his therapy and his artwork. It's been amazing, and it's an amazing journey for him as well as for me to be a part of it. Thank you.
My name is Bart Tisdale. I met Ron back in 1991. He is the uncle of a good friend of mine, and therefore he became my uncle. I watched him as an artist at the early 90s grow into the philanthropist that he is today. It's been quite a journey, and I'm proud to say that I was there for at least half of the career that I was able to see with my own two, and able to have a hand in helping Ron in some of his projects as well. So I want to say that congratulations, Ron. Well deserved, well overdue, long overdue. But on this day, not only do you deserve it, but I'm honored and happy to be a friend, and you'll forever be my Uncle Ritzie.
Hi, I'm here this evening at the Pathways Gala, and I, for the first time, heard Ronnie Ritzie's story about his life struggles and the paths that he went through being in foster care and his time outside of it. And I was truly enthralled by his journey in life and the things that he's accomplished and the strength that came out of just the small tidbits of his story that I got. I'm very interested to hear about his new story that's coming. I think he said it'd be coming out in maybe like a couple of months. But I'm interested to hear the rest of the story because I feel like he's definitely accomplished a lot and had some hurdles, but it did not break him. So I want to hear more about it.
Hi, my name is Judith Favors. I'm the Director of Outreach and Prevention for Visions and Pathways. And I'm taking this opportunity to share on why Ron should have received this award on tonight. It's because of his outstanding commitment, dedication, and perseverance. He is a true man of honor, of valor, and one that is above and beyond the stat quote. And so it's an honor again and privilege to know Ron. I just met him this year, and I'm thankful for the union. I'm looking forward for working together and doing great things with Visions and Pathways and using his gift and for him to share his gift with the youth at Visions and Pathways. So again, congratulations, Ron. Keep going to higher heights and deeper depths, and may God continue to bless you. Bye.
Yeah, I couldn't think of someone who's more deserving than this award than Ronald Ritzie. You know, Ron and I go back since childhood. Like he was just telling the story how we would in the Pocahontas River fishing together. We went through some triumphs and some trials together as well. You know, I love the fact that he's willing to share his story with others, and quite frankly, I didn't know the depth of what he went through, but the fact that he made it through and is where he's at now is just it's a miracle, So Ron is a person that's always giving. He's worked with several organizations before. He's even made contributions to my church, Bethel Amen Church of Morristown, is where I'm a member at. The Eric Johnson House. He's worked at Eric Johnson House in Morristown, which is no longer there, but that organization he made a contribution to. I mean, he's always looking for a way to give back to the community. I just think that his story is the story of many young folks that that have been homeless on the streets, and Ron did have a family, but his family obviously.
I am here at the Visions and Pathways annual gala in 2025, and Ronald Ritzie is being honored. And who could be more deserving than someone who made it through a world that was so not accepting of his sexual orientation? I just think that Ron always was confident, and despite the challenges in his life, because so many people didn't understand the differences, and we come from a Christian community, and people really didn't understand him. And I think that he was deserving of an award because he made it without Visions and Pathways. And I think young people today need organizations to support them. Not everyone can be as strong and resilient as Ronnie, but I think that he's an inspiration to everyone, even those that now have the assistance but didn't back in the 60s when Ron was trying to make his journey to success.
I mean, I've known Uncle Ronnie my whole life. I am a dear family friend, but he's my uncle. I'm his niece to him. I mean, this evening was very moving, very powerful, a really big testament to who he has shaped himself to be, and in doing so has always made sure to look out for others in the process. I think in general, I feel like Uncle Ronnie is very expressive through his art. A lot of times he lets the art speak for itself, so it was very nice for him to be able to speak, for himself through words this evening. And I look forward to everything that comes out of the documentary. I look forward to seeing, his life chronicled the way that he's been working so hard to do so over the past several years. I know that it will go on for time immemorial through his art, but also happy to see it through video media as well.